Hi you guys, welcome back to the M&M Rustics channel. Today we are sharing a DIY for a barn quilt, which can be made with materials that you have laying around, super cheap, super easy, and is such a great addition, especially during the holiday season. So stay tuned to see how we made this barn quilt. Hi you guys, like I said, today we are doing a barn quilt, and this is a 24 by 24 piece of plywood, and I just marked all the way around. I'm showing you guys that I marked all the way around in 6-inch sections, and I actually gridded out the entire thing and then just erased the parts that I was not going to use. So you can see where I had kind of erased there in the middle. Like I said, you're going to want to connect all of your lines, marks every 6 inches, and you're going to connect the lines. You're going to need like a long yardstick to do this, or a longer ruler, or even just a flat edge of some sort, and connect all of your lines diagonally and straight across. So once you are done doing that, you will be erasing, so make sure that you have an eraser. And I just used a pencil, and I'm using a ruler here, showing you guys. So I wanted to add a little bit more of a design on the bottom instead of just like the 6-inch. So I went in and I added just a little bit more of a point. You can see I'm actually referring over to a Pinterest design. So I will have the design that I use linked down below. Like I said, this is such an easy project. It's just a matter of making lines and erasing and painting. This was painted and primed beforehand. I actually got this board from my aunt. We were going to do this project at her house and didn't have time, so I brought it home, but it was already painted and primed for me. Biggest tip here is to make sure that the board is perfectly square, or your lines are going to be off in the end. Now I wanted to have the colors match my living room, so I did just like one little portion of the sign first to see if I liked it, and like the colors, to see if I was going to change it up or not before I got done with the entire sign. So that's why I only marked out one little section. Again, I made one more additional triangle in the bigger triangles on the bottom, and I just cut that space in half. So I believe it was like 5 and some inches, so I did about 2.75 inches up, and then I just carried the triangle down. Make sure that all of your lines are even, because otherwise it will throw everything off in the end. Trust me on this. Now to distress, so actually I am using a combination of stain and paint in today's video, and I use stain for the corners and I use stain to do the smaller triangle there at the bottom. I'm using a gray paint here in this other triangle, and to tape everything off I just used some blue painter's tape. It was super easy, and like I said, I kind of like watered down the paint, and I wanted it to look rustic. A tip I have for you guys is to layer your paints. I would go back and forth with my gray paint and my white paint, and then to make it even more distressed, I took a razor blade, just a straight razor blade, and I would scrape off some of the surface of the paint just to give it a really good like rustic feel. I was going for a Nordic theme in my house for Christmas this year, and I wanted to match the colors again that were like in my living room. So I used some of the living room paint that we have, which was the green paint that we used on our media wall, which we will be sharing a DIY very soon on how to do vertical and horizontal shiplap for super cheap. We are shiplapping our entire main floor for less than $500. It's such a easy way to add some character to your walls and cozy up the house. So stay tuned for that DIY. I'm using the paint that I used for the vertical shiplap wall, which is Nevergreen by Paramount Paints, if you guys are wondering. And it was such a perfect warm green. But here I am adding just a little bit of like distressing and detail with that razor blade. You can see that I wanted to define that arrow, if you will, a little bit more like that corner, or like the very tip of it. I wanted like a line there, so I took the razor blade and just really defined out that line, and then used the like flat edge of the razor blade to scrape away and add some detail and really rough it up and make it look rustic. I'm going to let you guys enjoy this DIY. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments down below. Again, this is so cheap and easy, literally cost me nothing. We definitely have a surplus of lumber in the garage, although I did get this piece of lumber, this plywood, from my aunt. We're going to do the project up at her house, but I ended up bringing it home. But definitely something that could be done with things laying around the house. If you guys do not have plywood laying around in your garage or shop, super cheap at Home Depot, about $13 for a 4x8 sheet. And you could even do a ton of these and do them for Christmas presents and do like a homemade gift. But again, I am going to let you guys enjoy and leave it in the comments below if you have any questions. If you guys are new here, we are M&M Rustics. My husband and I started M&M Rustics about 6 years ago, and it started with me making signs and then kind of transformed into making barn doors and gates and media centers and coffee tables. And now we mostly focus on built-in mudrooms and hall trees, along with the gates and doors and media centers. Those are still our most popular items. Like I said, we've been doing this for about 6 years, and we started it as a side hustle, and now I stay home and I work on the social media and the marketing, and I work on the books and all of those fun things. And we are now dabbling in our DIYs and sharing our tips and tricks with you guys. So if you are new here, we would love if you considered subscribing to our channel before you left. We do lots of DIYs, whether it be crafts or renovations in your house. We show you how to DIY it all on a budget and very easy to follow instructions. We also have a blog, link down below, mnmrustics.com, where we share all of our DIYs step by step for you guys. This blog step by step will be up on Friday for you guys, sharing all of the details as to how to make your own barn quilt in detail. This is just a quick overview as to what it looked like when I made the barn quilt. So again, I hope you guys join us over on Instagram, here on our YouTube channel, and all of the things. So give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. And I really hope that you guys join our little family across all of our social media accounts. So when it came to painting the, I'm going to call it the star portion of this barn quilt, I wanted to do every other like super distressed. So I wanted it to be a solid, and then I wanted it to be distressed, but I wanted it the same color. So that's why I just decided to do like solid and distressed, because I did want it all that green color to match my media wall. This is an angled paintbrush, super cheap. It was like a couple dollars, something I kept on hand because we're always painting in the house. But As you can see, doing a much lighter coat of paint on those like trapezoid, I think that's what they're called, type shapes, but painter's tape definitely came in handy so that I didn't have to worry about going over the edges. In fact, when you're doing your strokes like this, you kind of want it to drag over the edge just to make sure that you're not getting too heavy on the edges. But don't worry, I'm gonna go back in later on and show you guys how I distress it with the razor blade. That's really the key to getting a distressed look, is scraping with the flat edge of a razor blade. So anyways, all right, I just wanted to pop in, tell you guys what I was trying to do here as far as the star portion of the barn quilts. We'll pop back in here in just a minute, and I'm going to talk about what you can do to frame it, etc., and get it up on your wall. All right, really getting in here and showing you that detail of what I'm doing with the razor blade. Again, this is really the key to making it look distressed and beautiful and kind of aged a little bit. Definitely the key right there is the razor blade. I love using razor blades for all of my projects for distressing. It comes in handy. When it comes to framing your sign, I will have a DIY up separately here soon to show you guys how to frame a sign. I used to make signs in our M&M Rustics business a long time ago. I have made many frames. My husband has made many frames. So we are going to give you all of our tips and tricks when it comes to making a frame for your sign. Frames are super cheap and easy to make, and they make such a statement. So stay tuned for that sign frame DIY coming in a couple of weeks for you guys. Here is the finished product. I love it so much. It matches so nicely in the living room. Definitely goes with our Nordic boho farmhouse theme that we have going on for Christmas this year. So again, leave it in the comments below if you have any questions. Stay tuned because we will have another DIY coming for you guys next week, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. We will see you guys next week for that DIY. Okay, bye guys.